Welcome to Beyond Six Figures, the podcast that helps business coaches to micro-niche, get noticed, and become fully booked. Learn from top industry leaders who've successfully taken their businesses and their lives beyond six figures. Get ready to level up your coaching business and make this world a better place, one business at a time. And now, here's your host, Raviv.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Six Figures, the podcast where we delve into strategies and stories beyond thriving coaching businesses. Today, I am beyond thrilled to introduce Dr. Terri Levine, a trailblazer in the coaching industry, renowned for her heart-centered approach to business. Dr. Levine is also the founder of Heartrepreneur LLC, a transformative movement that redefines how business owners connect, sell, and serve by emphasizing authenticity and transparency. With over 4 decades of experience, Terri Levine mentored over 7,000 entrepreneurs. Take a moment to just think about that number. She's been helping business owners scale and maintain personal fulfillment. Dr. Levine is also an accomplished author. She's penned over 40 books, including the unclaimed The Conversion Equation, which offers a blueprint for generating an abundance of leads. And we could all use some leads for ourselves and for our clients. Her innovative Command, Connect, Convert methodology has empowered countless coaches to achieve 6- and 7-figure successes. Beyond her consulting prowess, Dr. Levine is a sought-after keynote speaker and the host of the Terri Levine Show, business advice you can take to the bank. Recognized globally, Dr. Terri Levine was named among the top 10 coaching gurus worldwide and holds the distinction of being the top female coach as announced by leadershipgurus.net. Her mission is clear: to help people like us, coaches, build profitable businesses that align with your personal values and your lifestyle. Please join me in welcoming the incomparable Dr. Terri Levine. Hello, Dr. Terri Levine. Yay!
Wow, Ziv, what an introduction. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, it's an honor to have you here. And it's just so important for us business coaches to talk about business and about business coaching, and to get this moment of listening to you for 30 minutes and kind of expand our understanding of topics related to business. There's an advantage to experience and to knowledge and to success. And you've been actually building businesses that were successful before becoming a business coach. So tell me a little bit about maybe one of the businesses that comes to mind that you're super proud of these days, that is a part of your background story, if you will.
Thank you. So I did build a lot of businesses before landing on business consulting 30-something years ago. And one of those businesses was a home art company. I basically had sold my speech pathology business and said to my husband, now what? And he said, well, it's up to you. What would make a difference? And I grew up very, very poor. And when my parents suddenly got some money, we moved to a different neighborhood. And I went into the first person's home to have a play date, so to speak. And a woman came to the door wearing a maid's uniform. I'd never seen such a thing in my life. And then she said, Andy, you'll be right down. Wait in the library. The only library I ever saw was the New York Public Library. And I stood in a room that had art and art lights, and it was a gallery, and I was extremely intimidated. So when my husband asked me this question, I said, I want to bring art to the middle class. And I learned how to do that and formed a home art show company that we later sold. And it was doing over $12 million in revenue at that time and making a real difference in bringing art to the masses, while I was helping over 2,800 people make a full-time living doing 2 art shows a week. So it had a lot of impact.
Wow. This is something that you sometimes miss, like to do things that are like artistic project or helping bring art to the masses?
At that time, that was really important to me because I knew how intimidating it was to be in someone's home that had art like that. And so it was a very important project was to bring art to the masses. And our company did that. And we did it all over the United States for many, many, many years. So I feel really good about that.
What's really clicked for you with consulting and coaching? What was the place that brought you to eventually create Heartrepreneur?
Thanks for asking. So I got into coaching almost accidentally. I was on an airplane. I asked the woman next to me what she did. This is some 30 years ago. And she said coaching. And I asked what sport. I never heard of coaching. And she described it to me on the plane. And by the time I landed 30 something minutes later, I felt that this was what I was meant to do. I went online, did some research, began getting training in the industry, and a few months later, quit as CEO of a national healthcare company. Heartrepreneur later emerged. Originally, the company was called Comprehensive Coaching, and Heartrepreneur emerged when I was writing a book that I was under contract for one of my publishers. And he took the manuscript and he threw it on the floor. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I want this book. I've known you for 11 years. I want the book about being a heartrepreneur." And I said, "What?" And he said, "The way you do business, heart to heart. That's the book I want." So I renamed my company. I trademarked the term heartrepreneur, rebranded, and really felt the power of teaching people how to do business the way I do, heart to heart.
So let's talk a little bit about like some of the principles of heart to heart. This is something that is a very deep system. It's not just a slogan of sort. This is something that you've been implementing and training and thinking about and are very passionate about. Give us maybe the first introduction for how can people start to see that in themselves, because business sometimes and entrepreneurships sometimes is very cold, it's very functional, it's very money centric, and heart is something completely different.
So what felt really important to me was not marketing at people, not selling to people, and instead connecting with people. Connecting means listening to them, caring about them, hearing about them, not having an agenda. And so connect became really important. How do I connect heart to heart with people online, offline, not one-to-one, one to masses so that I can make a bigger impact? And once I really developed how to connect with people, then it was, how could I really give them the ability to say yes to anything that I offered that was right for them, and only to put out the things that were right for them? And how could I continuously command the attention of the people that I can help so I don't have to hunt for them?
I have a question about that because it sounds like there's an order in this, right? You actually don't need the offer before you connect. How can that happen? Like, this really scares a lot of people that they need to first understand their offer and what exactly is it and what's the transformation and who is it for and whatnot. And in the meantime, other people are actually connecting with real people and not with like a chat bot. They actually go and talk with people and they invent or come up with an offer based on that connection. So is that really possible?
So number one, it is, and this is all I do and all my client family members do all day long. And number two, I'm going to teach by example because I have a current client. She's only been in my program a few weeks. She hasn't figured out her niche exactly, nor her offer. And she said to me, "I don't know what to do. I've had people raising their hands saying they're interested." I said, "Right. They're extending their hand to you saying, 'Help me. I want to connect with you.' And you're saying, 'Oh no, I have to wait, I have to figure out an offer.' No, if you really care about people, you'll connect with them and you'll say, 'Hey, Jane, hey, Marvin, hey, Mary, tell me what you wanted to connect for. What's going on in your life?'" And she does health stuff. "What's going on? Why did you think I could help?" And then if you can help, simply say, "I'd love to help you." Name a price, extend an offer. You don't have to sit around creating all of this. Don't even worry about extending offers until You start connecting with people, they say they're interested, and then in that moment, make an offer. You will know what they need versus I'm going to make an offer and hope that I have buyers. It's the opposite way of thinking. And it is why we do business heart to heart and why we have prospects raising their hands every single day asking for our help.
Well, you did mention something that piques my curiosity, which is that you strive towards doing this heart to heart at scale and not just one to one. And sometimes it's easier to do heart to heart in one conversation with one person. Can you actually listen when you're talking with a group of people?
So I'm very used to doing this. I've been doing group coaching and consulting for 29 years. And I have worked with groups of 1,500 at a time on Zoom. And I will tell you that I have a way of doing it where each person gets in the spotlight. So 1,500 people are not going to all want to speak at the same time. Trust me. Some of them might just be in chat. 5 or 6 of them might want to be spotlighted and go deep on coaching or consulting. 2 days later, 5 or 6 different ones might want that. So if you're doing webinars, for example, I wear this little bracelet, and on one side it says serve and create. I wake up in the morning and go, how many people can I serve and create and help today? So if I get on a Facebook Live and there's 200 people there, I make each of them feel special and I'm willing to communicate with them. At the end of my day, by the way, I turn my bracelet around, got a little check mark, and I know I've served people and I've created value for them and my day is done. So yes, it can be done in groups. It can be done I do in-person seminars, workshops, events, retreats. So that is speaking one to many versus if I'm speaking one to one, it's a small amount of people I can speak with and a small amount of lives I could transform.
So what makes that conversation in that webinar? It doesn't have to be 1,000 people. It could be 100, it could be 50. But still, there's something about the way you talk or the things you say that makes it, from your standpoint, qualify as a heart-to-heart. What are those things?
First of all, I'm not a talking head talking at the people. So I'm getting people engaged. So I may say, please put a number 1 in the chat if you are having trouble getting leads. Oh, I see quite a number of you are. I'll address that. Put a number 2 in the chat. If you have lots of leads, you're making money and you need to scale. Oh, handful of you. I'll address that. Put a number above you. Number 3, if you have sales team that's not really working. Oh, there's only one person for that. I'll ping you some information. And then I teach based on what they wanted to learn. And then I will say, okay, I just taught you an automated way to get 20 prospects raising their hand a day. What specific questions do you have? Let me go around the virtual room. Let me call on people. And that's what I do. I can't speak with everyone. So let's say, Ziv, you asked a question and I'm answering the question. Someone else is learning vicariously while I'm answering you. They're like, yeah, I needed that information. So that's how it works.
So what would you say to a coach that is finding themselves are not busy enough? They're not fully booked and they feel like they could use some more leads, but they don't know where to start and what to do.
So there's 2 reasons you don't have enough leads in my experience. You're not creating enough value for people, so they're not raising their hands. And you're not giving away enough free education so people don't know that you exist. So ask yourself, what can I do to create more value? It might be giving away some free things. It might be free videos. It might be free audios. It might be a free ebook. It might be a free template checklist. It might be Facebook Lives. It might be that you start a free community. It might be a blog, a podcast. You have to find out what your zone of brilliance is. Second, the best way to find people and the easiest is right on Facebook. Facebook is the social media platform, whether you love it or hate it, that has more active users per day than any other platform. And people spend an average of 30 minutes a day on Facebook, 3 minutes on any other platform. So if you want to get the attention of the people that are hanging out, it's Facebook. And the easiest way to do it is create value on Facebook. And then just say, hey, raise your hand if I can help you, or DM me the word, in my case, scale, and I'll see if I can help you. And it's just a way of extending your hand and saying, I'm here to help.
These days, your coaching programs is actually, to some degree, red taping and is a good match for certain people, and it's probably not a good match for others. Where would you put your red tape and say, these are like my kind of people right now that I can serve, and who is not ready yet for you?
Question. I work with people who already are successful in their business, whatever that means to them, who really want to scale, who want to work less hours, transform the lives, businesses, health, relationships, whatever they do, of more people while living their best life. That's why my program is called Live Well, Earn Well. It is about first you creating your life by design. So you have to be willing to do that to work with me at Live Well, Earn Well. Then in terms of earn well, regardless of how much or how little you're earning, now we restructure or we structure a business that fits your life, not the other way around, so that you can work a minimal amount of hours, not use any ads, not need to sell, not need to market, simply have people automatically raise their hands, and then you provide value for them. And I cover a lot of it, by the way, on my podcast, which is Live Well, Earn Well for coaches and consultants.
I have a question about your books. There's so many of them. And it's just a plethora of tools and ideas and systems. And you've touched many of the foundations in business. What would you recommend your top 3 books for a business coach that wants to increase their understanding in business?
The one that you mentioned when you introduced me, The Conversion Equation, I say is an absolute for anyone that's in business. And it teaches by so many examples. You can live vicariously through my real clients, tons of case studies, templates. That's absolutely a go-to book. The second one is The Successful Coach. The Successful Coach I co-authored with Dr. Lorena Case and Dr. Joe Vitale. And it really is like a marketing Bible on how to have a coaching business. And then the third one is Coaching is for Everyone. And that is a self-coaching guide that will literally change the way you think and the way you do business. So those 3 work in perfect concert together, Ziv.
Wonderful. And we will put in the show notes the specific links to all of your books on Amazon, and also mention these specifically. I want to ask you about your upcoming future. Like, what is exciting for you? What is something you're passionate about that you're working on?
Thanks for asking. So right before COVID, I had found a retreat center in Costa Rica and had been planning to take just women on a retreat for living well. And of course, COVID came and that was the end of that. And I literally forgot all about it. And about 6 months ago, the retreat center contacted me and said, hey, are you interested? I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. So in about a year, I am having a retreat there for 20 women who truly want to experience what does living well mean. And they're going to learn all different aspects, and they can take all of those things home with them and put them into their daily practice, which will change them mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So it's going to be crazy transformation.
Where can people learn more about this upcoming retreat?
The best way is to join my Facebook community where I'll be sharing it, and that is Heartrepreneurs. So Heartrepreneur with an S at the end, heartrepreneurs.com. That's my community. All updates will be in there.
We'll put a link to the Facebook community as well. Are you happy about running a Facebook community? Because I've noticed that some algorithm change happened over the last 12 to 18 months, and it's not as easy to get exposure as it used to. What's your experience with that?
So as a Facebook algorithm nerd and a content creator for Facebook, the algorithm is really in the favor of groups right now. So Facebook is putting most of its money into groups and really wants community, and it's pushing community. From my community in the last 11 years, just from my community, no ads, I have done 1 million of our revenue every single year for 11 years, minimum of 1 million, right from my community with no ads and not a lot of pitching. So I highly recommend Facebook communities. However, you have to do them right. You have to run them right, set them up right, monitor them right. And then you'll get a lot of engagement. And when you do, Facebook just starts recommending your community like crazy. And now you'll have an audience of all the right people. You don't even need email.
So how many people do you have in your community?
Almost 10,000. And by the way, I have clients that have 200, 300. I manage their groups. Some of them are able to make 20,000 a month out of these little tiny groups. So it's understanding what do you do in these communities. And unfortunately, I'm in a lot of communities that the host or the founder of that community did not set it up right or really isn't doing the right thing. And that's why the insights and the engagement are so poor. There is a great opportunity, though, if you do it right.
Where can people learn more about everything that you do? Where should they start?
So definitely my website, which is heartrepreneur.com. And then also my podcast, which is Live Well, Earn Well for coaches and consultants. Short episodes that literally give you takeaways that will truly help you in your life and in your business.
Do you do any paid advertising at all?
Big zero, no. And small entrepreneurs, I do not recommend it. It's one of the reasons that entrepreneurs literally go out of business. They don't have enough capital. They spend tons of capital on ads with very little ROI. Ads are great for big businesses that can advertise like Coca-Cola, Nike. That's about logos and branding and what's called in-your-face marketing. It does not work as well for entrepreneurs. And right now, I would not recommend any social media advertising. It just is not as effective as it used to be.
Are you active with emails and newsletters?
So yeah, we have an email list and we have a newsletter. I'm going to tell you that's not really where business comes from. It comes from social media. All my business comes from social media.
I think that you are a very unique person with an approach that is so you, and you shine on social media and you get results on social media. And that's where you shine. And I'm sure that just looking at what you do would be a masterclass of learning more about those things. So we're going to put all in the show notes, everything that we could find. I want to just wrap up by asking you, like, you wrote 40 books plus, you have a podcast, you run a Facebook group, and you teach people how to live a balanced life in many ways. Where's your balanced life? It sounds like a lot of work.
So I work 20 hours a month. Okay, I really want everyone to get that 20 hours a month. Why? My business is completely systematized. My marketing is automated. I have people that run the automations on Facebook. I have people that post. I literally go to Facebook once in the morning and go to Facebook once before I shut down. Total of 20 minutes a day maximum, unless it's in my community where I'm doing trainings and putting videos up. Other than that, it's just systematic. And I put those same systems in my clients' businesses. So it takes about 20 hours a month to run a company, not just a business, a company, which means it's a sellable entity, or you can pass it on as a legacy to your family or a wealth dynasty. You just have to learn how to systematize. And that's what most entrepreneurs don't know.
Is that something that you have a case study that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, one of my favorites. So this client she was crushing it. She was doing a little over 300, 400,000 a year, major community of women. She was truly influencing them, best-selling author. She had a TV show, crushing it. However, she was working 60, 70 hours a week and her family was getting very tired of it. So we did a whole shift in her business. We automated. We got some very inexpensive workers from my team that could also join her team. Less than 6 months later, she was able to buy a second home in Puerto Rico, where she now spends 4 to 5 months a year. And she's even beat me. She's only working 12 hours a month now. And this year, she is on track to do around 950,000. So she's one of my newest success stories. Yes, I clap for her too.
I clap for that. This type of success stories are important for us to hear because in business coaching, we really do need your clients to succeed. That's the whole point. And their success becomes, in many ways, our success, and our greatest lessons and tools really are born from that, from the success of our clients. And you have a lot of successful clients, Dr. Terri Levine. Thank you so much for taking a moment to introduce us to your amazing universe, a place where people can actually touch hearts and make money and live well and a balanced life. And you can learn more about that by visiting heartrepreneur.com, and we'll put that in the show notes. So thank you again for attending, for being hosted here, and for sharing your time with us. And thank you guys for listening for another episode of Beyond Six Figures.
Thanks for listening to Beyond Six Figures. Check out the extended show notes that include bonus material, practical tips, and exclusive resources on our website, zivraviv.com. Until next time, keep dreaming big and pushing your business and your life beyond six figures.